All right, ladies and gents, for your entertainment pleasure, we have Miranda Banks coming in hot. Gonna be talking to you about marks, marks and colors and all kinds of stuff. You know why I'm being all goofy like this? It's because your girl is feeling so much better. She ain't hacking up snot no more, and she ain't coughing like crazy. And she mixed a really good drink with ginger ale and cran apple, and is just cutting right through the crap. So I feel so good right now. Yeah, I'm all excited about today, quite frankly. Let's get all professional now. We can't get too silly. We don't want to go too overboard. Hello everyone, and welcome to the third Monday to the Nature Art Challenge, the bonus video where I talk about how to further your style or to kickstart your style by sharing with you 4 tips in this kit that I've offered to you in the Nature Art Challenge. 4 tips that will help you do just that in developing your style, to kickstart it or continue it. But anyways, today is Waterfalls and Pathways, and we're going to jump right on into the third tip to how your style is found, is using or finding your own color palette. I think that's how you spell palette. I never know how to spell that word, but if you are a master speller, I know that you will spell it right in your kit. But yes, that's the third tip, finding your own color palette. And we're going to talk about that along with marks today as well. So a friend of mine, a member in the group, her name is Jessie Charters. She has commented and said that she would love to learn more about how I decide what marks to put where in my artwork. And pretty much the overall answer to that is to know what your marks work well at representing. So first of all, you have to find your marks. You have to be able to know what kind of marks you like to make. So I've really dumbed this down and showed you my favorite kind of marks I like to make. And this one is my absolute favorite. The moment I got this pen right here, I went nuts making that. Well, see, it's already drying out. I probably should use a different one. Yeah, I've used this so much. I can't stop. So once I got that marker, I just played and played and played with the thick and thinness of the marker. And ever since then, I've been putting this in everything I do. I don't know why, I just love that. I love the whole sensation of pressing down and lifting up, and pressing down and lifting up in the thick and thinness of the medium. And you can also see here that I've done this in color pencil. I kind of like to play with that sometimes, just a little, but I really like the way that things are thick and thin in these lines right here. So once I got a Copic marker or a Winsor & Newton marker, brush marker, or a Tombow brush marker, gosh, I love this one too. The Tombow marker, for some reason, it seems to be a little bit more controlling than that of the Winsor & Newton and the Copic markers. I don't know why, I can just seem to control it a little bit better. But still, I love the both of them. And I'll even do this in paint as well. So I've done this in color pencil, I've done it in marker, I've done it in paint. But I really love making this particular mark. And when I say that I know what my marks work well representing, I know exactly what these kind of lines are going to represent. Meaning, I'll show you. Let's see, find a good example. Well, you can see it here. In this piece that I did for the Nature Art Challenge, you can see these kind of lines in color pencil working as water. And I use that a lot when I'm adding water or even like flowing grass. I'll use that kind of mark in those specific areas because I know they work well in that specific area. So even in this one, I used the color pencil and that kind of line because it's off in the distance. and I didn't want that kind of line to be, you know, how I've got it rather fat here. These lines right here, they're rather bold and in your face. It wouldn't work so much in this one because it would just bring the water forward, and I want that to kind of fall back in the background. So I'm also thinking of this in atmospheric perspective, really thinking what things I want to come forward and what things I want to go backwards. So I think about that as well, how to apply the line. And then let's see some other examples. Yeah, see down in here? I'll use that up in here, and if I want things to come forward, you can see how I've done that here in the leaves in the tree. I'll do that there. Where's some of my other favorites? This one, I'll add that, maybe not necessarily something that I want to come forward, but it's just a nice little piece of detail. I'll definitely do it in the trees here as well. And yeah, those are some old ones, but that's kind of where you find those lines, and I love doing those kind. Those are really fun. And then these, I kind of got them from my inspiration of Van Gogh, and I talk a lot about him in my second video for these Monday videos about Sleeping Beauty and Van Gogh, and how artists and other styles, when I marry the two together, how they make my style, you know, kind of come to life. So Van Gogh was kind of an inspiration for these lines right here, and I used them. Oh, P.S. There's another kind of pink line that I did with this set right here. Just, yeah, I didn't see that a minute ago. But for the Van Gogh line, you can see them a lot here. I love how this one turned out because I see that whole mixture of Van Gogh and even a little bit of Dr. Seuss in here. I don't know why. I kind of like that. And then there's some down here. Made them a little bit smaller. Oh, there's another one of those kind of lines that we talked about earlier. Those can be, you know, details of trees off in the distance, or grass, or ground, or anything like that. But the Van Gogh, you know, you can kind of see it down in here a little bit, sort of. I kind of ran those together. There's definitely some back in here. So I use this kind of line for grass or ground, or anywhere there's a lot of like detail, like maybe close to rocks up against them. I love to make the grass look like it's really flowy and luscious, and that's something I really like to do with that one. So I'll use that in that area. And then in these, it's probably kind of self-explanatory. I'll use these for rocks, or pebbly, or maybe leaves where they're all crumbled up together. And obviously I'm not going to put every little bit of detail, but I'm looking at, you know, these kind of details as a description of leaves or rocks or tiny details in the ground. And I've done that over here as well with these little specks over here. And sometimes I'll even do them for leaves off in the distance. I still want to, I keep looking at this on the Facebook page, and I really want to add a little bit more. This purple was a little bit too dominant. You know, you start to realize things that that don't work by looking at them through a photograph than actually looking at the artwork in person. That always helps me. So whenever you're kind of stumped, I take a picture of it and I go to a completely different place. I'll go inside the main house here and I'll look at it and start to realize things I need to add to it. So yeah, just side tip there. But these leaves, I'll use that kind of mark for, for in this area. For leaves and rocks and details and all kinds of stuff like that. Yeah, you can see that here next to the rocks, or the idea of a rock. Or I'll even get real literal. I don't know, sometimes I feel very natural and I want to make them look like, you know, like here in the leaves or here, I want to make them look rather natural and organic. Sometimes I really want to get more patterned and graphic than that of just organic natural marks. Yeah, so that's my favorite with these. And then something else too, we don't always have to think of marks as these tiny little movements on a piece of paper. You can also think of them as bold marks as well, because I'm thinking about like these shapes down in here. Gosh, I love doing that. I love putting bold graphic shapes next to you know, natural imagery like this. I know I did this recently. This was my most recent one. This was a slab of pink that I added way before I even did this drawing. And it added this really cool, like, graphic sort of, I guess it would be graphic design look to it, to a very simple drawing. And it added different colors in here. I added some dark purple on top of the pink and then made the deer pop out, but in sections. It just, I really, really like this one. So my mark sometimes doesn't always refer to, you know, lines that I make, but also bold shapes too. I'll just take paint and just slap it somewhere. I've done that here, especially with these kind of bold shapes that I make for the tree line. I got that inspiration from Sleeping Beauty, so that's a really big thing for me. I really like that, and I like how the olive green is sitting with the emerald green and the dusty pink. I really, really like that. So you'll see that kind of stuff, you know, back in here, even down in here. I love, love, love my bold shapes. And definitely right here, this big old green slab of something. Who knows? Or even down in here. May not necessarily be deliberate, but they are implied shapes here because of the way the roots lay up against the ground. And then, of course, obviously, these are pretty deliberate back in here. I love, 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 love that so much. So even though they're not small, they're big marks. See, I'm doing here in the sky. And then somewhat down in here with the moss up against the edge of the river. And quite frankly, these shapes here with the trees. Those are kind of big, bold shapes. They're not quite big and thick and sturdy like those in the background, but they're still shapes. And that just sends shivers up my spine. I just love them. And even in here, yeah. Love my bold shapes. So you'll see that a lot with me here. And then, of course, something I never fail to do, or never fail to forget, sorry, is drawing these organic, juicy, delicious, gnarly lines that always end up being my trees in the background. You will see these a lot from me. I got that idea from Sleeping Beauty, pulled that idea from there, and then adding those blocky like leaves around them, like up in here and up here and then down in here. I still got to finish this one. I posted it, but I couldn't finish it for some reason. I don't know why. But you'll see them here and in here. They're just everywhere. Everywhere. I love them. See, I've even gotten to where it's not so stiff anymore because I like them a little gnarly like that. So, yeah, if that makes sense, Jessie, I hope it does. These lines, I apply them in places or put them where I want them because I know how they work in representing something. I know that these work well with water and grass. I definitely know this works well with grass and land and ground. I know this works for like leaves, crumbled up leaves, rocks, or even leaves in the tree. And I know that this works well like in the sky or in the background or in the ground to block off shapes. I know, or block off the ground. And I know that this works well with being leaves in the trees. So whenever I create something, I know, oh, I could put this line here because I know it works well like that. And I know I could put this shape here because I know it works well. So in saying that, you have to almost have your own little internal dictionary where you know what's what and what works well as what. And you have to know what you're obsessed with and what your marks are. You have to determine what they are, and even before you know where to put them, I'd almost suggest that you just take a whole sketchbook page and just start playing with media, with different colors, with paint, with marker, with colored pencil, with ink, with anything that comes to mind, and just start making stuff. Just start playing with it. Don't get too precious with your media and get too you know, serious with what you're creating. It was like, I have to make this perfect before I put anything on the page. Like, no. My goodness gracious, no. Look at this. There's so many things here. I've talked about this page before. I don't like this page, but I did it, and I've made these lines, and I'm practicing. That's the whole point of a sketchbook, is to play. And you'll even see this here. I'll do this sometimes. I do this rarely, but I watched an artist and how she did it, and I was like, I need to do this. I need to get into my color theory and start playing with how things work up against each other. And that's how this page came to be. And yeah, I'll even play here. I'll just like this sketchbook. I cannot tell you how much I almost love sketching and playing as much as I love creating a piece of artwork. It's so freeing, it's so much fun, and you start discovering new things. You're like, this is like your arsenal. This is like your toolbox of things that you can collect and put in your paintings, and they help you develop who you are. And it's like a little memory book too. Like, oh, that's when I learned that line, and oh, that's when I started doing this, and this is the genesis to that. And oh, it's just so much fun to watch yourself grow through your sketchbook. And this challenge, I am teaching myself so much, and I'm so excited about starting a new body of work here soon just because of this challenge. And it's helping me do something, one, every day, and also learning new things about my style every day. And I really hope you guys are taking advantage of that. Now, if you're not doing it this month, I totally understand. This was quite spur of the moment that I started doing all of this. But if you start doing this in June, heck, why not? Go right ahead and post it into the Facebook group. Or if you're, you know, got it all planned now, but, you know, you may want to do it several months in advance or down the road, that's perfectly fine. This group is available to anyone who wants to join, and at any time. It's always available. Now, I will participate, you know, once a year. I'm going to make this kind of an annual thing, and be like my month to start learning new things and start practicing and developing new things in order to create a new body of work. So I need to stop rambling. I get that way, and I get really excited about things, and I can't stop. So Jessie and everyone else, I hope maybe that is of help to you. And I'm going to start putting this to use, and I'm also going to show you my color palette, like what I use each time I'm creating something. So let's go on and jump into that. Okay, so I'm going to show you now the things that I use most frequently and are all within my color palette. I'll show you here. These are my absolute all-time favorite things to use in these mediums. I love these particular greens. This one is an olive here, G99. This one's a pine tree green, and this one's a grayish olive. I love these particular colors. They are so beautiful when working with my green in the pieces. And then this one is a lime green and a Winsor & Newton brush marker. Really nice there. This one I will rant and rave till the ends of my days. This one is like an olive green Tombow marker in 098. It's really good. And then these are quite random. This is the Koh-i-Noor Polycolor Green marker, the sap green 346. It's really nice there. And then I love, of course, this olive green. This is a Prismacolor, and I'm already getting pretty close to using it up, and I hate it. I hate seeing colored pencils go away. And then, so those are my greens. I love my greens. And then, of course, my pinks. I got a ton of those. I got them in several mediums here. Yeah, I've got like a peachy pink here in Tombow, and then I've got like a dusty rose pink here in a Tombow. Those are the numbers 873 and 772. Those are beautiful pinks. And then this one is a really nice, oh, I'm missing one, hang on. Yeah, here you are. These two are really pretty pinks. They look quite similar, sort of, but rose pale, blush pink, and a rose farde, and pink rose. Prismacolor and Prismacolor. They're really, really good pinks. One's like a similar to this pink, and then this one's just a shade lighter than that one. So that's really, really nice pink. This one is a great dusty pink that I use for like for lines to go on top of another pink. Like let's say I paint with this cameo pink, it'll be a nice little line that I can ride over top of it, and it's really, really pretty. Then these particular pinks I like. This is a rose pink, tickled pink, and a cameo pink. Cameo pink I always have to have. I love this color. It's a perfect baby pink. Love it, love it, love it. So those are really nice, and I use so many different kinds of pinks and different mediums, so it's never just like one thing that I use. I love using my color pencils, markers, and paint. They're so much fun. And then here are my purples, and there are, this one is a, what is this one? A red violet. That one's really pretty. This one is the Koyanor Polycolor. I can't pronounce that, I'm sorry. But I can pronounce Carandash. No problem with that. And this one is the best color pencil I've ever gotten in this kind of purple that I really, really like. It is, it was a violet gray. It's just perfect. It works so well for those trees that I like to do in the background. And then this is the best purple color for shading. It's the soft violet, BV11. It's kind of, ooh, at the top of the arsenal. Love that. This is a lavender, forgive me, sachet. Yeah, I'll let you guys that speak much better at different words than I do. I'll let you read that and know what I'm talking about. And then this one is a Folk Art Gentle Violet. So nice. So my purples, I never really like the deep like gemstone colored purples or gem hues purples. I don't, not quite crazy about them. Sometimes I'll use the purples, the dark purples, to help me with getting like things really, really dark in value, but that's about it. I really like these kind of purples the best. So you can kind of see my color palette kind of forming here. And you know what? I also forgot to give you guys the greens in paint that I really like. This is citrus green, mossy meadow, mountain forest, and thicket. And can I just say that maybe the reason why I like these colors is because the names of them are right up my alley. I love thicket, mountain forest, mossy meadow, citrus. Like, it's all nature, you know, words, and I love that. So these are perfect colors. Love this mossy meadow. Such a good color. It's perfect for that, you know, dusty kind of vibe that I really like. And then I always like my emerald green every now and then. So, oh, perfect, perfect, perfect. So those are my greens. And then these are my randoms. I really like my sky blue. This is a China blue. I never like it to be too blue. I always like it to be nice and bright. And then I like this mustard King's Gold yellow. And that's about it for my colors. You know, I don't really like a lot of reds. I don't like a lot of oranges. And I've always just been partial to, you know, the pinks and the greens. Those have been my favorite. And then of course, purple I haven't had for very long, but I realized how well like a lavender color looks well with all these colors. And then of course my deep greens. And then these are my accent colors. This is a Prussian blue. in the Liquitex Heavy Body Acrylic Paint. I'll use this for outlining or things that are really, really dark and I just need to have a really dark color because it is just gorgeous. It's a perfect blue. It almost looks black, but it's blue. And the only black that I use is just to outline things, and I use my Copic gas-infused multi-liner, or I think it's multi-liner, I don't know. Copic gas-infused nylon brush pen, that's what it is. And I use that very, very frequently, and that's the only black I use. I never use any straight black or paint or anything like that. I always use my blue. And then this one, love, 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 is the iridescent copper. I'll use that all the time for little details and little sparkles that I want to add. So that's my color palette right there. I know exactly what I like. I know exactly how to use it in each painting that I do, especially my mixed media pieces. And that's what I pull from. And I always use this particular kind of media. I never really use anything else. I don't have much ink. I guess the only ink I do have are these, let's see. Oh, here you are. I guess this could go in the purple pile and the green pile. But these are like little ink brush markers. And I really like those. They're perfect. It's a really pretty emerald green and a really nice purple. It's a little deep, but what I like to do is outline with it or water it down and make it more like a lavender color. So, yeah. Those are my colors. Those are all what I pull from. And it's important to have your colors because when you use all of your colors, every color in the rainbow, one, you tend to get overwhelmed, and two, it gets muddy. Like it just gets too saturated with color. Like and I shouldn't say it's too saturated, don't use all the colors. If you're the kind of person that loves the rainbow and uses every single color, that's great. But if you're the kind of person that is using all of the rainbow colors and you're starting to realize, I don't like this, I don't particularly like that color with that color, but I want to be a little bit more specific in my color palette. If that's you, then I would recommend you start finding exactly what colors you like and start playing with all kinds of mediums and use them in your sketchbook, play with them, put them next to each other and see how they work next to each other, and then you'll start developing your own little arsenal of colors and mediums and media like this. So it's really important to do that. And I thought I might use all of them. I really don't know, but I'm going to keep them close to me. These are the only things I'm going to use. And maybe I'll use them all. Maybe I won't. We'll see. But I'm going to now work in my book, and we're going to make our drawing for the day. And let's see how that goes. So yeah, get all your colors, pick them all out. Maybe right now just pick out some that you just really are drawn to right now at the present moment and see how they work well with each other. So get them all together and let's get started. Okay, so I know I said I was going to jump into making the next piece, but I'm going to actually make that a part 2 video. That's going to be up on Tuesday. I'm going to upload it for that day. I want to apologize really quickly for the sporadicness of these videos. I'm not going to rant about this much, but I do want to let you all be informed. My internet situations and my technology situations, I'm very limited, and we live way down in the woods, and there is no way. My brother is quite tech savvy and is kind of the whole professional guru about everything internet. He has contacted so many people about trying to get better internet because he's a YouTuber as well, and we can't get anyone to get us good internet down here because of where we live. And we have tried for years to try and get a good internet system, and there's just nothing. We just don't have anything. And so our internet situations and my whole uploading situations, I plan it and I have so much stuff prepared and I get it prepared in advance, but it's almost at that exact moment when I need things uploaded, it never uploads, and everything falls apart, and it is so frustrating. My brother, poor thing, when he's racing, he does iRacing. He told me this morning while going to church, he said, I was in the middle of a race, I was leading, I was doing so good, and I could have won this race, but the moment I was about to finish the race, the internet cut off on me. And it's that frustrating down here, and just, oh, I can't explain how frustrating it is. And I love making videos, and I want to do more. I would love to offer so much more to you all, but we can't do anything about it. And it's so frustrating. So I just wanted you all to be in the know, to understand my situation and why kind of videos are, I say I want them on Monday, but then sometimes they don't show up on Monday, and I have to do part 2s, and the reason why I'm doing part 2s is because I can't make my videos too long, because it takes forever to upload, because of our internet situation. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, it's insane. It's insane what we have to deal with. And I just wanted you all to be aware of it. And I don't know, just felt like explaining it to you all. So I hope you all understand, and we can just have a stretched out video. It's not all in one. It'll just be more coming on Tuesday. So on Tuesday, I will show you all how I'll make this would be day 17, I think. Yeah, no, 18. I'll show you how to do 18. Yeah. So yeah, I just want to keep you informed, and yeah, I better be quiet now because it's making this video longer. So I'll see you guys on Tuesday.